Hello, my name is Mitchell T. Palmer. You know my name, damn it. And I am coming to you live today with a good friend of mine that I met as a result of running my barbering business in Sandy, Utah. Cool thing about my friend Josh Nacey is he's been coming to me for pretty much a decade for his barbering services here in Sandy, Utah. But Josh happens to live in Rock Springs, Wyoming. So that'll tell you a little bit about the loyalty and the friendship that I enjoy with my man Josh Nacey. Let's bring Josh on. Josh, how you doing today?
Not bad, Mitch. How about you?
I am doing really well, man. It's good to have you on the show. There's a very specific reason why Josh is with us today, and that is a little bit of background about Josh. In 2011, Josh sold his very successful company up in Rock Springs, wasn't it, Josh, where your company operated?
Yes.
And then you joined the Army with the hopes of becoming my favorite thing in the military, which is a Green Beret.
Yes.
So before that is some background for Josh so that you know he's been to some world championship wrestling tournaments and placed pretty high in those. You've been to the national wrestling championships and you've won one or more of those, haven't you, Josh?
Um, yeah, I've won the U.S. Open the last 2 years in my age division, which is 35 and up, is the
Some
old man
Something the
field.
old man division. Something I
Yeah.
would expect from a guy who was an All-American for Western Wyoming back in college. But currently, the reason we're here, and we won't, no, I don't want to take a lot of your time because I know you got a lot going on, and we want to make sure this is brief so people can watch it and see what's going on in your life now. So, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on now that you've come out of the Army and you've started your own business? Tell us a little bit about what your business is all about, and then we'll get into some of the details about why we want to spread a message for you today.
Okay. Thank you. Um, so when I got out of the military in 2017 and started a distribution company where I distribute medical implants for spine surgery.
Nice. Mainly
So,
for your focus was mainly for veterans, correct?
well, no, my main focus was just transitioning out of the military and finding
Okay.
some kind of work. And my buddy up here started a hospital, physician owned hospital.
Wow.
And there was a neurosurgeon coming from San Diego, and he wanted to help me out. And so he helped me start my distribution company, and I started working with him, and then found other surgeons along the way.
Right. So, what, how long has that business been up and running? How long have you been operating? And has it been successful along the way?
Yeah, I started it in 2017, um, October 2017, and it was real successful for a while, um, because I'm a service disabled vet. I started or labeled my company, registered it as a service disabled veteran owned small business, and got a contract with the federal government. And that was the purpose for helping other vets, helping other Green Berets that transitioned out of the military, um, and give them an opportunity to have a good job and make good money since they served our country.
Yeah. So all along, as you well know, and I think most of the people who visit my social media channels understand how much I love our military. I've never served. I had two uncles who served, two of the biggest, most important influences in my life were those two men. And I think it just became natural. I kind of migrate toward guys like you. The sacrifice you made to sell a business, leave your family behind, and go serve because you had that higher calling to do something for your country is a commitment I've always been really impressed by in our military men and women. But you find yourself in kind of a bit of a bad situation now. And could you tell us a little bit more about that? What has happened? Is your company still operating? And what's kind of the status of things as we speak?
Yes, the company is still running, barely hanging by a thread.
So,
Because one of
but
the
why is
manufacturers,
okay? You were going to tell me why. Go ahead. Sorry, I
yes,
interrupted.
no, you're good. Sorry, there's a little bit of an echo in here, so it throws me off a little bit. Um, one of the manufacturers that I was working with uh, took all my work, and so that was they actually took one of my employees and gave them the same contract that they gave me, and then slowly worked me out of the contract and terminated my contract. Um, it'll be 2 years in June, and we've been in litigation pretty much ever since.
So you actually employed somebody, and your distributors actually went behind your back and signed a deal with them instead, cutting you out of the middle.
Yes, and they weren't a distributor of mine; they were a representative of
Pardon
mine. We
me.
call them reps in this field.
Sure, sure.
Um,
So,
and
the problem with having conversations with me is that I assume a little bit as I go because I'm always 5 or 10 questions down the road. So I
yeah,
appreciate you clarifying that.
um, but yeah, they this company approached them and approached my rep and wanted to give them the same contract. And of course, my representative um, didn't turn that down because it was more money for him. Uh, and then over the next year and a half, they dictated which POs went to which company, either my company or my old representative's
Right.
company.
Now a new competitor of yours, correct?
Yes.
So somebody who you took in and employed is now benefiting from the work you've done before without doing the work themselves, all on account of two people getting together behind your back and cutting you out of the situation. So why are you raising funds right now? I've just put a comment in the comments, and it is the link to your GoFundMe page. What tell us a little bit about why are you raising these funds, and why you think you have a good reason to be fighting this.
Yeah. Well, so far, like most people probably know, litigation is not cheap. And I've spent over $300,000 in the last year and a half over this litigation. Um, Taking out a second mortgage, taking out a personal loan, business loan, been selling assets, took out retirement, um, borrowed money from family, and I'm at the point now where I'm pretty tapped out of resources. So
Yeah.
I humbled myself up and decided I would ask other people for help.
So we have a lot of stories that I've heard, and pardon me for going a little off on my own little cartoon universe, but I've heard a lot of stories about veterans, and again, none of this is to put any veteran down. I'm a huge supporter, but I've heard a lot of stories over my life of veterans who come home and they kind of just don't do much. They seclude away. There are reasons for that we aren't here to talk about. But here we have a veteran, my friend Josh, who's gone into business for himself. You've employed other people. You've built a business that started making money and spreading the wealth around, so to speak. And now you've been put in a position where the amount of money that you should be making based on the effort and energy and time you've put into it has been given away to somebody else.
Yeah, and you know, the transition out of the military is difficult. Um, and I can only speak for special operations. Being at the tip of the spear um, may or may not be more difficult transitioning, but it was difficult for me. It's difficult for
Yeah.
all my buddies that have served in the same position, and so because of that, I started a nonprofit organization called the Charlie Mike Foundation, which in the military we would say Charlie Mike when we would be referring over the radio to continuing mission. Um, so this nonprofit is to help transitioning Green Berets, if you will. Um, the only problem is the money I was making with my business was funding that nonprofit, so no more money's coming in. And the second problem is the money that is in there I can't help myself with because it's my nonprofit.
Right.
So
It's
there's
for other veterans. It's for people coming to your nonprofit to help
yes,
them. So
yes,
this could very likely be a matter of, in order to keep that nonprofit going, we're not just talking about raising money to try and help you in your legal battle to get justice for what has occurred, but we're talking also about raising money to try and help keep that nonprofit organization going and funding and having you being able to have the time and energy and resources to be able to keep helping other veterans like you.
yes, yes, exactly. And and I know that it's a hard transition because it was hard for me. And like I said, um, all my buddies or brothers that I served with, they had a very difficult time getting out as well. So there's a need for it, and so I tried to fill that need.
Okay. So, Josh, I'm going to switch over here and just real quickly move into your website. Again, I've put the link in the comments. We've posted this in the past, but please, if you can, see your way clear. Get to this link and give me a moment while I pull up. This is the page we're looking for. And when you're in here, consider the fact that as Americans, we have a lot of freedoms, and we have freedoms because men like my friend Josh go out and commit themselves to something bigger, to something that I've never fully committed myself to, which is to, serve the American people. And what this does to them on a personal level is they get home, they have to try and figure out how to get back to normal life. Meanwhile, guys like me have been home living my normal life. And, whether I paid attention to when people were deployed in the military or not, they're still out there doing a job that, frankly, while I have a deep, humble gratitude for, I've never been bold enough or courageous enough to go out and make this kind of commitment. And to see you, as a personal friend, let alone as a veteran who committed and sacrificed by selling your business and leaving a family to go serve. You come home and you build a business that's employing other people and helping um, patients of the clinics and hospitals and surgeons that you've been working with. Not only that, you get your foundation going, and these things have been crippled. Do you think that's a fair word to use?
Yeah, yeah, and I want to make sure that it's clear that I'm fighting this fight with this large corporation. You know, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation, um, and I'm fighting this fight based on principles that I have, principles that led me to the military, but also that strengthened while I was in the military. And that is, I don't like bullies,
Yeah.
and I don't like large corporations pushing the little guys around. So there's more to this fight than just trying to get a settlement.
So
Um,
there's more to it than trying to just help yourself.
yes, it's trying to make a statement and a precedent that there's a lot of small businesses, including myself, that don't fight because they can't.
Right.
Um, and I don't really have the funds to fight this fight. I've been pulling funds from everywhere that I can think of, selling things, doing whatever, because it's important to me that justice is served and that these large corporations can't get away with doing these things just because they're bigger and they got more money. You
No,
know,
I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's become kind of the United States of corporate America anymore. And if you don't have a lobbyist somewhere on Capitol Hill, you can't get by. And if you decide to pull a fast one and cut people out of a deal, like has happened to you, well, then they rely on the fact that you're not going to fight back because, as you've already said, you've spent over $300,000 trying to fight this fight already. And to me, I don't think that's more than a drop in the bucket to these people, if it's even a whole drop in the bucket to them. What do you think about? I mean, that to me is what makes it more outlandishly just it's insidious. People in these corporations do this relying on the fact that you'll run out of money, you'll run out of energy, and you will get beaten down and finally just walk away.
yeah, and they do that with everybody. And in fact, they hope that most people won't even attempt the fight. You know, but
Yeah.
it, it this particular company made $1 billion last year. You think they care about even $1 million or
No.
$2 million? You know, the big thing is they just want to be able to do whatever they want to do, and they don't expect us to fight back because most of the time we can't. But
Yeah.
being from the military, my DNA is wired a little differently, and I couldn't let these guys get away with it, even if it led to bankruptcy,
Yeah.
which
I'm
it's on the track of
It's
doing.
close. It's getting
Yeah,
there. And the deal is once again, for all the years I've known you, I've had this mad respect for every aspect of your life. Though I've only known you since you've come home from serving in the military, but the person you are, the loyal client you are to my small business, is representative of, I think, exactly what motivates you. And I'd like to make a plea to the people that will watch this video. You've heard Josh's story. You have more questions. Josh, I'm sure you'd be willing to answer any question anybody had about where this money's going, what your hopes are, what your goal is for this. Would you have any last few words? I mean, make your case. Tell me, once again, you've told me before, but tell the people that might be listening, why should they go to this GoFundMe page? What do you hope comes from it? And what's the outlook? Do you have any idea what the short term, midterm, and long term? Where's the status, and what comes next for you? Basically, just fill the details in, and when you're done, I think we've spent enough time on this today. We'll harp on it another day, but give it your best, rundown for us, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Well, my biggest thing, like we talked about before, is, you know, society grows because we rely on each other. Um, it's a humbling thing when you have to ask for help. And I wouldn't be asking for help if I didn't need it. Um, and I'm asking for help to continue this fight, um, not for personal gain, but to hopefully stand up to the big corporations. And I think with a lot of hands makes light work. If people were to donate $5 or $10 and then shared this with two other individuals that would do $5 or $10, I think that would make a huge difference and afford me the opportunity to continue fighting.
No, I appreciate that very much. Like I said, knowing you the way I do is a true friend, and you've certainly adopted me into your family. That's an honor I can't ever repay. But I would say it it seems apparent to me, if you can't help with a donation, that's fine. You can help by sharing this story. Share this video, share the link, spread the word around. Let anybody know that you can. This is how corporate America treats one of our veterans. I don't think Congress treats our veterans all that well. And I think the people that we have to rely on to treat our veterans better, to treat each other better, as you said, Josh, is we have to rely on each other. So I would make one final plea and say, listen, you don't know my friend Josh. Hopefully, you've seen a little bit about who he is. I certainly have. When I've had hard times, both in my personal and my business life, this is a man I've always been able to rely on. And I know I could rely on you in a moment's notice. You would do anything for me. And I hope that the people that will see this video and see the challenge that you're not backing down from will see the same courage that I've always seen in you, brother. Josh always tells me years ago, I want to tell one quick story, Josh. Years ago, Josh was on his way here from Rock Springs for a haircut, beard trim, and the works. And I said to him by text, I sent you a text and said, drive safely. What was your answer?
Drive fast and take chances.
That's right. So, this is in the bold spirit of the man I know and love. And I do love you with all my heart, brother. You're one of the best men I've ever had the fortune of calling my friend. More importantly, one of the most valuable people I've ever met. That you will call me your friend is a huge lift to my day, just to know that I have a friend like you out there. So, any last words, Josh? I'll let you have the final say, and then we'll close this. Please share this
Uh,
video. Please go out and make a donation, and make sure the word gets spread. If 100,000 people were to donate a little bit of money to this cause, well, that would be a huge boon, I would guess. Yes?
yeah, yeah, for sure. And thanks, Mitch, for allowing me to be on your platform and your willingness to help. And I appreciate you and will always consider you a brother.
It's my pleasure, my friend. Trying to spread the word of, I started a few years ago with the little funny catchphrase of, my name, damn it. I think what's important in that is that everyone should take this attitude. You know my name, damn it. And you know what? If you don't, well, that's fine. It might not matter. But you should take more pride in who you are. You should follow the example of people like my friend Josh here. Know who you are and be willing to say it to anybody who will listen. You know my name, damn it. I certainly know Josh. I know your name, damn it. And I love you with all my heart, brother. I hope that this will help, and I hope that everybody out there will get your shit together and go do something that actually matters. This is another fellow citizen that has also served our country with selflessness and courage. So I love you, Josh. God bless you. I will be going out to the site here in the coming weeks and donating yet again. And I will be spreading this message anywhere I can. Look for the link in the comments, and also make sure you are looking. I got the wrong disc. There we go. Make sure you're looking for this link. It's David versus Goliath. My friend Josh Nacey. Josh, have a great day, brother. Drive fast.
Take chances. Thanks, brother.